Honey, come, lay down. All right, it is the end of 2025. It's December. Who's excited? Who's excited to have the end of 2025 come here and be ready for it? Be ready for it. If you can hear me, now I am seeing Barbara you pinned. Is there a way for you to unpin yourself? Because that is going to cause a problem with there we go, remove pin. There we go. I have no idea why that was the case, but good to see you, Chris, Jenna, Melissa, and Bo in the house, Mark, Vicky, Lolita, everybody who has their camera on. I can see you, Vicky. Today, we're going to be talking about year in cash infusion and a couple of the things that you must do in order to really move the needle at the end of the year. So I'm letting a couple people in and then we'll get started. Give me a second. Okay, it looks like we're live there. All right, I just got off an incredible podcast interview with Chad Willardson. I'm not sure if you know who he is, but he is the owner of Pacific Capital. And Pacific Capital has over $3 trillion in asset management, a lot of real estate. D, good to see you. I was thinking about Melissa and Bo when I was talking to them as to him as well. But I interviewed him on the podcast today all around the fact that work-life balance is a myth, it's a lie, and how do you win at work and at business at the same time? How do you win? And we talked about a few things. I'm not going to do a spoiler alert on the podcast itself. Let me see if I can. There we go. But I really wanted to go live today to talk through what ends up happening at the end of the year. There is this pull, this tug, this I want to downshift. Who just write the word downshift if you're like, I want to take December off. I'm kind of thinking through that energy and then wanting to finish strong. So there's people in different areas, but I want to know what camp you're in right now. In the chat, can you write, are you a finish strong? How do I really monetize to really get to the end of the year? That's what we're going to be talking about today. How do you think about it? How do you actually do it? And then who is feeling that tug, that pull into the celebrations and the wanting to downshift? And the only reason why I'm actually talking about it live is because unfortunately, a lot of us think that way, but don't actually do the things necessary to bring a cash injection in December. And so I wanted to talk about how to finish strong, the thinking to get you there, and some of the ways that you can be stepping into that year-end conversation with your clients to really monetize December. Now, Barbara, I love it. So tell me in the chat, everybody in the chat, what is the, and I'm going to, by the way, we're going to do a couple hot seats on this call. I'm going to teach you a little bit about what I'm doing right now. So this isn't theory. This isn't like, I might do this. This is exactly what we're doing right now. I want to always show you in real time what is working. And then I want to do a couple hot seats around that and see if we can't help you really move the needle over the next 3 weeks. So you've got about a 3-week window right now. There is a good 3-4 days that everybody does shut down. I'm going to ask you a quick question in the chat. When do you start planning for the next year? Can you write that in the chat for me? When do you start planning for that? Is 2026 already planned? Do you do it in December? Do you wait till early January? Like, where is the time? Did you plan it 6 months ago? Where are you in the planning? I would love to see that. Love to see that. Now, I know for us in our company, we do planning mid-year for the next year, and then we get together and we revise it early January. We just make sure that we're gut check all in on all items, make any final adjustments, and then it's locked in stone. But a lot of companies right now are downshifting. And so I want to talk about why December behaves differently than other months and what you can do for a cash injection right now. So December behaves differently because whether you are celebrating the holidays or not, whether you are a Black Friday person or not, we kind of hit this back to back to back shoulding. Meaning I should be going to do things and with my family. I should be going to these parties. I should be doing these things. There's Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Giving Tuesday, all the things, right? And that is a distraction for a lot of people. So what I see that people do wrong in December, and I did it too for decades until I figured out we've got to meet people where they are, is business as usual. And I'm not going to ask anybody if you've just been doing business as usual, but you can continue to do business as usual and layer on what I'm going to teach you today that we're doing that is really helping to drive our highest revenue month to date. And the title of it, you saw in the title of the live, which is micro niching. So what does that mean? Micro niching is because you know your audience, your buyers, your clients are getting you're competing for their energy, you're competing for their mental space. We in our business started looking at what are some of the micro problems, the beginning pieces of the problem for those that are brick and mortar or service based. What is something that is the smaller piece that people can bite off and solve in the next couple weeks that doesn't feel like a heavy lift? Now, for those of us like our HVAC companies, you're always going to have your people that are like, okay, my whole system went out. I need a new system. Like those things happen. And of course, then you go take care of those people. But in this time of year, it's the question I want you to think about right now. And the question we had to ask is, what is a small problem? A small problem that I could make an offer with to deeply serve people right now. So I'm going to give you an example. I went live a couple of weeks ago and I said, hey, coming up in December, I'm going to have just a 1-day event all around building 8-figure leadership. Going into the new year, we don't want to think like we have at multiple 7 figures. We want to think at that 8-figure level. How do I lead a team at 8 figures? Tell me in the chat if you're like, no matter where you are, whether you're under 10K months, over 100K months, 500K months, regardless, you know that you're not going to get there alone. Say, I need people in the chat. Say, I need people, right? And so why this is so important is right now for me, now you got to think through your own industry lens, but for me right now, I know my best people are thinking about that. Because why? They just got done planning their year somewhere in the last month or 2 or 3. And they're looking forward at 2026. Then they're starting to look at how can I do this effectively? And why I want you to write this down. Use the slowdown to increase sales. Use the slowdown, mental slowdown to increase sales. Now, each industry has a different process for that. But for mine, it was like, okay, right now I know we're going, just write an analysis mode. If right now you're analyzing what happened in 2025 and you're projecting what you hope happens in 2026, or you're planning, hopefully through the 67-day year method, you actually have it all mapped out. But everybody in business right now tends to go through this December reflection and projection, right? So instead of offering like, okay, do you want to come in and invest 30, 40 grand and have us build out all your systems like we do in CEO? I said, what about a half day with me, just me and you, 3 hours, and we're going to literally map out your entire team structure for 2026. And hands down, having that support, I had about 45 people raise their hands and say, yeah, I want to spend a half day with you. I want to map out my team. And I'm just curious, like, when you heard that, where you're like, I want to map out what I'm going to do, whether you're like, I'm going to hire my first team member, or I'm going to figure out how to optimize the team that I have, or am I hiring the right people, right? Just write team in the chat if you know that in 2026, you're going to need a team to get somewhere. Yeah, you're going to need a team. And if you've started bootstrapping, write bootstrapper in the chat. If you started your business as a bootstrapper, right? You just got in there. I need a team, or I need the right team, right? Managing that team in a way that they can really drive revenue and drive the internal operations of the business is vital for freedom. Write that down. Tell me in the chat, everyone who's live with me, why did you start the business to begin with? Why are you thinking about starting it? Why are you dreaming about growing it? Was it for money and money alone? Or was it for the freedom and the impact? Tell me in the chat while I take a drink, because I want to talk to you about how we can cash inject in a way in December that we can't really do as much the rest of the year. Yeah, freedom. Yeah. So what I see so often with my business owners is as they're bootstrappers, you all said you're bootstrappers. You started it on your own. You didn't realize you're an accidental entrepreneur. Most of us didn't go to business school, didn't plan on starting a business when they were three. We kind of moved into it. Not everybody, but most people. I think the average entrepreneur, it's like 93%, just didn't plan on it, but ended up getting in business for themselves. And what most of my CEOs that join this, 67-day year CEO, the the pressure point they're at is because when we start the business, we build the systems. And when we build the systems, we hire the team. And when we hire the team, then we layer on systems to help manage the team. But what's at the center of all that? What did you hear? It's me. It's you. I, as the founder, created the products. And then I hired people to help me with the products. And then I created a system around the product. But what happens as we literally, not meaning to, but we create an internal prison for ourselves, and we find ourselves working more in the business, more time invested, more of us because of how we built the systems around us. And it's not your fault because most of us are bootstrapping accidental entrepreneurs, right? So we didn't go get an MBA and we didn't start from like, let's create this corporate structure. We started with, it's just me. And then we're like, dang, I need help. And you say, okay, here, I got help. Let me throw some stuff on your plate and tell you what to do. And then I have 7 people like that. And then I figure out building some systems around that and some SOPs around that. But I'm still at the center of that machine. And then we add sales processes. You see how this layers? Accidentally, of course, it's not our fault. But all of a sudden, the feeling you get is like you have this giant backpack, and every new hire, every new system, every new process just feels heavier and heavier and heavier on your back. This is generally speaking what people in the CEO program come in, and that's the stage they're at. So what do? Well, first it starts with leadership, right? Starts with leading ourselves and then creating systems that don't have us at the center. Systems that don't have us at the center are how, write this down, you get freedom. If your systems are built with you in the middle, yes, delegating, handing off SOPs, but you're in this washing machine because people are still coming to you for questions, still coming to you to make decisions, still coming to you. So even if you have a team, you're at the center when they can't run it without you. And I know this because I walked through this fire. I have the scars to prove it. It's why CEO even exists, is because I was at the center, burnt out, exhausted, and smiling, pretending like it was all going well, right? But the reality is, it wasn't until I built the systems without me in the center, starting with leadership. How do I think, lead, and operate at that 8-figure level? And then how do I create profit without me? How do I create results without me? How do I create a profit system? So we call that hardwired CEO, hardwired team, and hardwired profit. These are all systematic processes that we do inside CEO that enables the owner to get out of working on the business themselves. And it's like, when you take a vacation, isn't that where like your best thinking happens? Like the best ideas come to you when you're out of the environment that you're normally in. All of a sudden your brain just gets released to like, oh, we could do this, we could do this. Isn't that part of the joy of vacation, other than seeing beautiful places? It's your mind gets to be free as a business owner. And what are you thinking about 90% of the time on your vacation? Ideas for your business, because you can't help yourself. That's who you are. And so being able to build those systems outside of you being the center is how you get your time back. And most people aren't teaching this. And that's why we do what we do in CEO, building these dashboards, helping the owner to really see their business from up above. helping the team to become internal owners. Why am I telling you all this? Because the micro offer in December, while everybody is so busy, is not do we want to build all the whole systems, not do we want to do everything all at once, because that would be too much. In fact, with my CEOs on Wednesday, we're about to build out their first revenue growth system. I'm super excited about that. I just sent him a message and said, bring your Post-its, right? Because that's going to be a powerful system, that first system to pull them out of revenue generation. Super excited about that. But here's the thing. I want to meet my not yet clients where they're at. Right now, they are reflecting. They're looking backwards and forwards. What did I do? What am I learning? All that. So what if we just create a 3-hour capsule where I can walk you through how to look through 2025, how to plan your leadership. Write that down. Leadership isn't accidental. Leading at that next level does not happen by osmosis. Unfortunately, so much of us, we just hope that if we just move fast enough, leadership will catch up with us somehow. At least maybe that was me, not you, me. But here's the thing. I offered that 3 hour, that 3 hour. And I had 45 people say, I want to do that. Some of those people ultimately will probably join CEO, but that's not where my mind is at. Do you see what I'm saying? My mind is, how can I serve them in their first step right now? So that's my first question to you. Think about your business, your audience, who you serve. You know where they are mentally right now in December. What is something you can do, and write it in the chat right now, to get them a micro win? A micro win. What is a small piece, a small chunk that solves a problem that will build trust when it comes to January, where they're going to go on and do bigger things with you? Tell me in the chat. And I'd like to help a couple of you think through that. So Lolita said energy management. I'm not sure what you mean, Sally, on a lead magnet. So a lead magnet is just a way to get people on our list. So what if, unless you're going to help them create a lead magnet, and then that to me would be a beautiful micro offer. And it's just simple. See, write the word simple down. We, as business owners, because we're visionaries, tend to be very complex. Just think about what is that one small problem that you can help them with. And Sally, if that's you and you're like, I want to help them get their lead generation going, you could do a 2-hour class, have them pay you for it, and walk through delivering it live, right? Love it. What else? Melissa, Bo, what are you thinking? Chris, what are you thinking? I'm looking at my clients that are here. Jenna, what are you thinking? Michael, what are you thinking? And raise your hand if you would like to get in a hot seat and brainstorm what kind of offer you could do for your audience. And by the way, I can only see you if you have your camera on. So if I can't see anybody who doesn't have their camera on, if you raise your hand. So I'd love to be able to bring 1 or 2 of you on and have us map out this micro offer. Your bigger offer might solve the whole enchilada, so to speak. CEO, accelerator for those that aren't at $100,000 plus a year with 2 team members. Those people right now, no matter which side of that they are thinking about, where do I go from here? And it's a unique moment, right? It's a unique moment. Guillermo, I'm going to bring you on. Let me add you as a pin, and then I think I'm going to have to ask you to unmute. So go ahead and unmute, and we'll chat about it. So, okay, let's talk about what is that micro win. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
I see you rocking and rolling inside Accelerator. I'm so proud of you. So excited for you. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about your audience. Like, tell me a little bit about your audience.
The majority are parents or mothers. they're in a transition that are in really discovering themselves and what's important to them. Um, the majority have, it's like a 50-50. Some have younger children, some have older children. Um, uh, Children that are in their 20s, I'm going to say 30s, but a lot of them have young children also. So it's a good mix. But again, they're in the moment where it's either their relationship or their economics or their identity is in a transition, right?
Okay.
So the key there,
I'm
the,
actually going to stop you. I'm going to stop you because this is how visionaries are, by the way. And I love this is who I serve. So I love how we think we're like global, solve the world. And I'm going to pull you in. So if you think about your ideal client here in December, what would you say are one or two problems they're really grappling with that if we could solve them for it would be a big win. It would be a big win.
discover their limiting belief.
Okay. So one of the things I actually I'm seeing some note takers in here we got to remove. Um, you want to watch out for these big global concepts
Sure.
and really stick with what, and this goes across the board for everybody. What is your client putting their head on the pillow and already saying, if I could just solve this? It's not a big problem, a
Sure.
little problem, right?
Mhm.
So, uncovering their limiting beliefs, we all have them. We all need to do that. And none of us put our head on the pillow at night and say, if I could just figure out my limiting belief, then I would understand everything. We just don't. Like, that's just against our nature. It just really, that's why anything I ever talk about, you'll never hear me say those words unless I'm deep in like a 3 day event where I'm talking about, even then I use metaphor, right? Like put on your gas, put on your brake, right? But I don't usually say, because that's how it lands viscerally for people. So if you had to say, like, for your families, what is a December problem that if you were able to get on a call with them and help them walk through it, you'd really be able to get them released for December, or at least on their way?
Um,
It's not
their
easy. Guillermo was very brave to go first, so you'll
yeah,
get in the flow
their
of this
their um their struggle with money.
for
Their
December because they
struggle,
need money because it's holidays.
uh, or I got to not even that in a safety level. So I guess what I see a lot is um what they're when they go to sleep and what they thinking about and what they wake up thinking about is safety.
Okay, but
Um,
that's big. So I want you to bring
okay,
it down into December,
sure.
and I want you to say the thing they're thinking. If I could just solve this in December, they're not trying to solve safety in December. That's like a lifelong quest.
Uh-huh.
Limiting belief. They don't even say that. It's coded. So what else? Emily, I see you. So I see. Like I want all of you thinking as I'm talking to Guillermo. What is the one thing? Do you
What
have
do
a
I
product
want?
based
Yeah.
business? I guarantee you there are product based focused things you can be helping them with right now.
So again, what's my vision would be a really big one then,
Yeah,
obviously.
we want to move for
Sure.
December because you got people
Uh-huh.
focused on other things. We want to say, how can I help them quickly with a micro problem? And this is going to warm them up for the big
Uh-huh.
thing come January and February. So we
Okay.
don't want to solve everything right now because
Okay.
they're distracted. So what is one small thing? Maybe it's I can help you look at your entire December schedule and honor your kids and the whole experience,
Uh-huh.
like get it planned out.
So
But I'm
so
just kind of
so
trying to be
deciding what the biggest threat in your current life is would be too big.
way big.
Way big.
Nobody's thinking I'm looking for a threat. If I could
Way
just
big.
find that threat,
Way big.
right?
Okay.
Way too
Okay.
big. Yeah,
Okay.
way too big.
Okay. Okay.
Give
Uh,
another swing. Give another swing, and then I'm gonna that might come back to you.
small, small,
Hi,
small.
visionaries.
Okay.
That's okay, Guillermo. Like, we're just helping you funnel it down so people can listen to you. So, your people, they have families, they have
Uh-huh.
kids, and they're trying to grow. And so, what, yeah, Emily made a great suggestion how to survive the holiday season. I'll help you map out that specifically for your family.
To survive the holiday season. Okay.
How to survive and thrive in the holiday season, a,
Yeah.
a planning session around how to do that.
Mm.
So you see
Yeah.
how
Okay.
I'm going to work with you for, 6 months to do the big things that you're going to do with your clients.
Mhm.
It's what if this holiday was joyful? What if you could get through the
Mhm.
end of the holiday and feel peace? That happens with a schedule. We're going to do 2 to 3 hours. I'm going to map you through your December so you can walk out of the end of the year with joy and peace for like
Okay.
20, 30, 60, 70, $90. Like the number doesn't necessarily matter.
Mhm.
It's you got to think about your person and what they're going to pay naturally. But remember, if they could win December, do you think they're set up so much better for the beginning of next year to,
Oh, sure,
right?
definitely.
So, okay.
Definitely.
So I'm going to unpin you, but like start brainstorming on that. That would be a beautiful micro offer. That would be a beautiful micro offer. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. I'm going to take a couple more. I want to, because I really want to help you see how simple monetizing in December can be. And we're talking a cash injection right now. Don't overthink it. Don't make it more complicated. And here's the thing, write this down. If they're not already thinking it's a problem, do not sell it. Does that make sense? Write that down. If they don't already think that it's a problem, don't try to solve it. That's the number one mistake I see people struggling with these micro offers, this cash injection. All right, Sally, you're actually pinned. Go ahead and unmute.
Okay, my lead magnet
Yeah.
was I'm just getting ready to start Business Accelerator.
Yep.
And I came up with the idea. I'm in the dog niche, so I'm
Yep.
going to create an AI bot that changes the photo of their dog and themselves into a watercolor, a cartoon, or a pastel.
As a Christmas present almost.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it. It's a product based, micro niched, December focused. You work with dogs. It's a nice entryway. I love it. I love it because it's not,
No,
I'm going to train your dog in December because that's not happening. Like another thing is like, okay, so that's a great idea. Another idea could be a micro class on teaching your dog to behave with company is over. Another idea. So just either one, there's not a right or wrong answer here. There's like, what's the aligned answer for you with your people that's giving them a taste of what you could do with them in the new year and building trust. Write this down. There is a trust deficit. There is a trust deficit. And if I say, it's kind of like when you go in and you have one good experience at a store, do you go back? Yeah, because you feel like, oh, even at a store, I can trust them. They're treating me well. I can return things and they're not, being a jerk about it or whatever the case may be. Or I can get this part of my refrigerant fixed so that I was just thinking about we have companies that do in CEO that do, you know, tune-ups and things like that right now so that they don't end up with a house full of guests with heaters or air conditioners going down. Small thing. Small thing. Peace of mind that your refrigerator won't lose power, that your heater will work for your guests upstairs, that kind of idea. So I love that. Either one would be a great. You get it. And it's simple. I want to support you in this beautiful month of December in this way. Yeah, in this way. And I'll look in the messages as well. Very cool. Very cool. I love it. She was thinking the whole time, so she came to it quick. Really awesome. All right, Miss Jenna. I'm going to grab you and put you up here. Jenna is one of our certified neuro coaches, and I miss her face so much. All right,
Hello.
so talk to me. What do you think? What are your people thinking about in December? What's the problem on their mind right now? Not big, not giant, not the whole enchilada, but what's one little micro thought that you could support them?
The problem is I'm crazy busy. It's the end of the year. I'm just going to wait and try to do what I want to do with my life in January, except the chaos never really ends. And come January, nothing's going to change.
Remind everybody your niche.
So I work with women in high demand careers. whose job has taken over their life and they have no space for what they want to do.
Okay.
They love their career,
Business,
but they have no
health,
life.
life, business, health, or life? Which genre are you most
Oh,
focused in?
well, that's a problem. Health, I guess.
You guys, I am the biggest proponent of be known for one thing,
I
because when
know.
you want to be known for three things, you're known for none. So Jenna and I have done this dance for a little while. So what I'm going to just say, pick one thing, one area, whether it's overwhelming their life, overwhelming their health, or overwhelm otherwise,
Oh, I
that
see.
you see what I'm saying? Because we can't do a micro cash infusion offer. It's got to be ultra narrow. So you see, I'm
So
not
overwhelmed in
talking
their health.
about, so be health.
Mhm.
Okay. Now I love that, because especially as moms and high performing women that are still running their businesses and they have kids, this is the month that their health goes out the window, because they're baking everything. They're trying to create experiences for their family, keep the business, because they got all the plates spinning.
Mm.
So you could do a micro offer. What are some of your thoughts around that? Now that you're thinking just health, how to what during the holidays? An hour long.
How to, I wouldn't want to say stay on track, but maybe
Mm-mm.
how to
No,
not,
because they don't want to stay on track in December. They
right,
want to be able to have the fudge too.
but
You
not
know?
totally fall off the wagon, not
Say
dig
again?
yourself into, not fall off the wagon, not dig a giant hole you have to deal with in January. I just don't know how to.
Yeah, no, it's okay. That's what we're brainstorming on. So maybe because it's health and we want to spin it in a way that would be supportive to them, I would think more in the way of a December plan, or planning December so that you can have the Christmas cookies and start January feeling great. So more she's a coach, so I'm going to talk through that lens. More Paint Maui, not the trip in checking into the airport and the smelly guy sitting next to you on the plane and all those things. Like, yes, they buy from Paint, especially on the bigger things, but right now we want to solve this micro niche. And so she's thinking in her mind, oh, I'm going to start January again, probably 10 pounds up. You're going to say, okay, I'm going to spend an hour with you mapping out your December so that you don't start January 10 pounds up. You don't start over in January. You can have the Christmas cookie and still feel on track and dialed in December and enjoy your family and friends. So it's
Mhm.
that both and that they're looking for and they can't quite figure out. So they either toss it out completely and gain the 10 pounds, or they become nutty and don't do anything. And then they're miserable and not spending time with their friends and family. And they're saying, I can't,
Mhm.
I can't, I can't. So you're going to go in and be that bridge. You can eat the cookies and enjoy the family and not start January 10 pounds heavier and having to start all over again. I'm going to, in 1 hour, I'm going to map it out for you how to survive December so that January is already on track. Like something that simple, 1 hour, a
Yes.
$17, a $20, nothing giant, because they're investing, your people are investing a lot in their business right now and a lot over in their kids because it's the holidays. So but the thing I love about that as a quick 1 hour thing, do it at lunchtime so that they can attend. So it's not taking out of their regular time. And just give them actionable things and an actionable plan and walk them through it. Man, who in the room, tell me in the chat, just feedback wise, if you fall in her ideal client, if you had a plan that could get you to January without the cookie 10, the extra cookie 10, I call it, and enjoying the family and not having to restrict yourself through the entire, just in the chat, say, ooh, I'd love that in the chat. If you like had a plan, you could just follow it and do both. Right? So you're seeing a little bit of a feedback loop from high performers. So they're your perfect people. Make sense? Okay, keep me
Yes,
agreeing
thank you
on
so
that.
much.
And just go live and offer it, email it, offer it, and deliver it, whether there's 10 people, 20 people, 100 people. But then now you have a product that can become a lead gen product later down the road. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
All right. We're getting there. I think I'll take one more and go ahead and mute yourself. I'm going to remove you as a pin. Jacqueline, I don't see your camera on. I'm going to go ahead, Dr. Tanya. Oh, Jacqueline, are you putting your camera on? Do you have a camera? Because I can't see you, so I can't bring you on camera. But if you could put your camera on. Dr. Tanya, I'm going to bring you on. I'm going to add you in. Hey, girl, good to see you. All right, Jacqueline, I'll get you next. Don't worry. I'll do one more extra. So let me ask you to unmute. All right, tell the audience a little bit about what you do, and then we'll brainstorm around what could be this cash infusion for you, this micro niche.
Yeah. So I call myself a financial fitness coach because
Ah,
life made me a money maven through a lot of hustle, challenge, and so on and so forth. And I quickly learned that there's a huge demand for how do I get rid of these sticky feelings in my money identity. So what I do, I change people's money identity.
Ooh, I love it. All right, so let's talk December
Mhm.
and what could be a small win because
Yeah.
identity shifting, big. And so we want them in your bigger programs to walk through that with their money. And money is a great topic to do identity shifts with. But it's December. I mean, this is the month of money. This is the month everybody worries about money or spends money or money is on the mind right now for a lot of people. So
Yeah. I thought of the time when Christmas is kind of done. There's
Yeah.
this little hole where they maybe can talk to themselves about what's going on in their life. So one resource that plays out in how much money I have, keep, invest, blah, 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 all these things is time. So I have this little thing. It's the lucky charm. And they can jot down, they can draw how's my life in the areas kind of corresponding to the three big niches and one fourth thing. And they can kind of make a a quick shot of how do I feel in these kind of four areas of life.
Yeah. So I'm going to ask for permission. So say, coach me, coach. Is that all right? Do I have your permission? Okay. I'm always going to say,
absolutely.
ask for permission first. Coach me, coach. And again, visionaries, big thinkers, big shifts. It's too big for a cash infusion that's going to build trust. That's an offer in January or February. So tell me what your person is feeling and thinking right now.
I don't want to do this next year again.
Meaning what? I don't want to what?
Yeah, it's either women in finance industry or it's business women, and they're hustling and they're getting over to the masculine side. They don't have time for themselves, and they feel like I'm drifting into a direction I don't want. I'm a driven person, and I want to feel that in my life: the success, the freedom, the good relationships. And I kind of lost the idea of
bring it down even further. What is she experiencing right now in December? So she's stressed because why?
Yeah, because in December, this extra task of Christmas is coming, and in America after Thanksgiving, so they're in the, what's the word, of these two big parties.
Yeah.
And maybe it's tech stuff in Germany, they're trying to get, so it's a lot of tasks, and they kind of get even more stressed. And as they have a business or in finances, they have this forecast in their mind of, next year. So they're totally overwhelmed. It's overwhelmed. And this little four-leaf clover shows them a bit of clarity.
I'm going to get you off the four-leaf clover. That's a large program concept. Okay. So, but I do love she's stressed and she's thinking about what's coming in January. Like I said, I just got off an interview with Chad Willardson. Some of you that do investments finance, you probably know his name. He's the founder of Pacific Capital. Your person doesn't have a framework for practicing presence, which is the reduction of stress. So how can you practice presence during the holiday and still be prepared for January? So muse on that, because her stress is because she has too many things vying for her high demand attention. And her nature is to pay attention to the thing that drives finances. But she also wants to be present with family and friends during Christmas or the holidays, because that's important to her as well. So practicing presence while still preparing for January speaks like a workshop or something small. So does that help an idea?
Yeah, firefighters are the original people who do box breathing. And even somebody is not into meditation, they love box breathing. This four, you know that.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Daily.
yeah, I've got an idea now. Practice
Okay.
presence with what firefighters do for decades now.
Okay. So maybe it's a 30-minute paid class to help you learn the process to de-stress through box breathing or something like that, that they're going to be able to take through the Christmas season. I would attach it to that, but then they'll be able to be a foretaste into what the kind of work that you do with them in the rest of the programs.
So
Easily
cool.
slide into the back. Something you can talk about on your live, send out to your email list, talk to your people about. Just like you need one tool to be able to have presence and joy during December and still be ready for January. Love it.
That's cool. And it leads to positive intelligence stuff that's
All
bigger,
the things.
blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah. Yeah,
All the things.
cool.
All the things.
Thank
Girl, you need
you.
to be in certification, my friend. You do. You do. You got to reach out to me for that. Okay. So I'm going to remove you. Go ahead and unmute yourself. Great job, Dr. Tanya. I love that so much. All right, Jacqueline. I'm not going to let you down, girl. I'm not going to let you down. She's like, I'm putting my camera on. Look, just wait a minute, sister. All right, here we go. I'm going to ask you to unmute, and then I'm going to wrap up today's live with some very practical boot on the ground leadership for 2026. So stick around for that. But the thing here that I want as we're getting into Jacqueline's is, and I want you to brainstorm in the chat, and I'll look at the chat here in a second. The idea here isn't to solve their whole problem. That's what your product, your service, your SaaS, your software, your AI, your products do. That's the big picture. This is to get your perfect client who is very distracted right now to get a micro win. If they get a micro win for a small entry, guess what they're going to do in January when the boots are on the ground and they're driving toward results? Well, of course, I'm going to coach you to get in the slipstream with them and be in communication with them about what's next. Here's what's coming in January, of course, but it enables you to serve them deeply, build trust. December, write this down. My only goal is to build trust. You're still going to have conversations for your larger programs, products, services. Of course. You're going to do business as usual. This is what I call the cherry on top that builds out reciprocity, that then you are the only one they turn to when they get their planning brain back early January. All right, Jacqueline, good to see you. All right, so talk to me. Tell me about the business. Tell me about the niche. Tell me about you, and so that I can kind of help you think through and funnel down into a cash injection here.
So my bigger program is supporting women who have had a life-changing illness or a crisis that has changed their life so that they can live a more fulfilling life, they can reconnect with hope and their God.
Yeah.
Now, the small niche program that I'm thinking about is boundaries and creating boundaries for themselves so that they can protect their space.
Yeah. So
And their life.
would you say your ideal client really struggles with boundaries in December?
Yes, that's why they burn out. That's why they're angry. That's why they get into
Yeah.
sickness and disease.
And if they put these boundaries up, paint the picture of what kind of December they would have.
If they put those boundaries up, they're going to be okay with the full sentence that says no, and it is going to preserve their energy, and it is going to create an environment where they're not the to-go-to person for everything.
Okay.
They're going to be people who can also enjoy the season and not just do the season.
Ooh, I like that last one. So maybe a training that you could teach, or maybe you get a group of them live. It depends on if you like, and by the way, either work. So if you'd rather just record it and give them this training for a certain amount to show them how they can put boundaries up in December so that they can enjoy the season, not just survive the season. Especially with your particular audience, because they're dealing with a lot of trauma from the illnesses and recovery and all that has shaken up in their life. So I love that for an idea. Another idea could be, how do you create a space of recovery during the holidays? So you got to think about your ideal person. What is she putting her head on the pillow and saying, God, if I could just do X, or if I just had Y, that small thing. And I love the boundaries idea. Learn how to say no in the holidays. If you were doing boundaries, I would put it in the context of a process for people who've survived what you help with. So, because if you just talk generally, like, I'm going to help all of you put up boundaries, nobody's going to hear you, because they're going to be like, well, there are no boundaries. It's Christmas. People are coming in my house, like all the things, right? But you're talking to a specific group of people that have a struggle with who they were before illness, who they are now, what their capacity is and was. Very different. They still have that vision in their mind. So they're having a hard time like dealing with that shift. But they want to be able to enjoy the holidays. Would you agree?
Yes.
Without it putting them back in illness or back in remission. So definitely I would connect it to your ideal person. And whether you do it live or a training, it's a plan for the holidays to put up boundaries that support you enjoying the holidays and not getting ill. I love that. Now, let's dive even a little bit more. What about, could you create something like a small toolkit to survive the holidays?
A small toolkit?
Like toolkit, like
toolkit.
And the toolkit could include a training, but toolkit to not just survive the holidays, but thrive them with boundaries, with joy, and actually leave the holidays enjoying the time you spent. So maybe I'm thinking this person is probably already a little bit in overwhelm at this point. So maybe them having something like a toolkit versus, just tell me in the chat right now. I know not everybody is her ideal client, but would you rather have a toolkit to survive and thrive in the holidays, or would you rather have boundaries? Just answer that question in the chat so Jacqueline can see it. Would you rather have a toolkit, or would you rather have boundaries? Boundaries will be in the toolkit, clearly. So you see the difference? It's just how we look at it. It's toolkit feels like I can get it, I can apply it. This will be like something I can use, like a tool. Boundaries is the thing that they struggle with, so they probably aren't going to like really want that, even though they need it. Kind of like with Guillermo, when they don't put their head on their pillow thinking about what is their limiting belief. They just know that something's stopping them. Same thing. Like your ideal client needs boundaries like crazy, but they're probably not thinking I need boundaries. I just wish I had boundaries, right? But a toolkit to give them joy during the holidays. Now it's like, oh, okay, something small, right?
Okay. And when I designed the toolkit, I've never done a toolkit, so I'm trying to visualize what that could
don't overthink it. The toolkit can be a simple training on boundaries. So you're still going to give them what they need, but it's just how you're going to position what it is you're going to give them. A toolkit so that they enjoy the holidays for this specific person, right? But inside of it is going to be the tool is boundaries. And this is how we're going to set them. And this is how you do them. And this is how you say no. And yes, it's a complete sentence. And here's that specifically with family, with obligations, with all these things that are going on. So maybe the different areas during the holidays, you give them examples of that tool, which is setting boundaries.
Okay.
Guillermo would be one of the tools is uncovering what's blocking you, right? But that's the long play, not the short play. AI can help a lot, Laura said. Love that. All right. Very cool. So I'm going to take a quick look. Jacqueline, I hope that was helpful.
That was. Thank you very much.
Good. Okay. So I'm not seeing, hang on. I'm trying to get rid of that chat here so I can see everybody's chat. If you have a question on yours, I just want to get down to the bottom. I'm glad you needed this. Here's the thing. No matter what your business is, and I'm going to leave you with one tool to be able to use. We've been on for almost an hour, but everybody just write cash injection. You can see how simple this is. It's caring about the people you serve. It's caring about the people that you serve and looking, you should always be doing this. Look at the problems they have right now. All right, Emily, I see yours. I mean, I love delivering live. I think you got to ask yourself what you want to do. Yeah, you could absolutely not sell the replay. You could sell the Art of Letting Go masterclass, the 3 steps to letting go, right? Sell what it does for them, not that it's a replay. I wouldn't think you would do that to begin with. I think that would be great for 47. Yeah. But tie it to something that's going on in December. That's my big thing. If you're going to do a micro niched offer right now, it's what's going on now for them. So generally speaking, the Art of Letting Go, I would tie that to December. Does that make sense, Em? Just want to make sure that makes sense. And welcome to the CEO. I'm super excited you're going to be there. Inventory impact on working capital for 20. Carrie, I'm not quite understanding what you're saying there. Try to describe it a little more so I can see that. Yeah, what are the problems that they're thinking about right now, which will be different thinking processes in January? So that's the bigger, let me come back up 30,000 feet. Would you agree, tell me in the chat, that people think differently in December than they do the rest of the year? There is this reflection. There is this projection. There are these people and this holiday and these expectations. No other month creates that energy. January creates a forward energy. We'll talk about that in January. But December, it's the only month where helping them solve a micro problem is a chance to blow the waters off of January in terms of results for a whole group of new clients, because they come through December with a trust in you. I'm going to take a look at what Carrie just said so that I can answer that. And then I'm going to give you one final tip to help you with this. So it's a cash flow, an inventory impact on working capital. So if your ideal audience right now is number one problem is working capital, and that's all they're thinking about right now in December, then yes. My guess is that's probably not the case. So you want to think again, I'm just going to keep coming back to what is the thing your ideal client, that small annoying, think of it like a mosquito. You know me and my metaphors. So think about it as a mosquito. Like, what mosquito is in your perfect, not all, not the whole potential possibility of people that could be in your programs, your services, your products, your SaaS, your software, your AI. So it doesn't matter what business. What is the mosquito? And I'm going to tell you this goes across all businesses, because our mosquito this morning, which made me think of one of our CEO clients, was I'm going to start cooking 10 times more, which is going to make our house, which has super high ceilings, get ridiculously unregulated in terms of its energy. Well, I've got an HVAC company that's part of CEO, and I thought to myself, man, if all they were saying is make sure your HVAC, a quick tune up to make sure your HVAC doesn't fail with a whole house of people, because it's on my mind. It's the mosquito, right? The mosquito isn't, I want to go, refurbish my whole system, which probably needs to happen in a year or so. But don't you know that if that mosquito got taken care of and I had a great holiday, who's the first people I'm going to try? So Think about that. I'm thinking about Christy with her headbands for nurses. Like right now, nurses, December is also the busiest time of year in hospitals. So what could be something that's that mosquito that's just annoying, not the big thing that they're trying to solve. That's in the bigger program. Does that make sense? What's your mosquito? Odd thing to say, but it's saying offer that. This becomes what my friend Kelly calls a trust building offer. But we've got to build trust at a higher rate than we have in the past. Whether it's service, software, coaching, doesn't matter. Products. Right now, people are making product decisions based on the trust that was sown in September and October. So as a product building business, I would encourage you to really pay attention to September, October, November as your trust building months, because they make all their buying decisions right at the beginning of December. So it's a little bit different, but you're still not out of the game. If you've done no trust building as a product-based owner, use the next week to do that. You do that, you're going to hit a home run for the Christmas season. A lot of times product-based people, businesses, they're so focused on Black Friday that right now they're just like, they're like trying to catch a breath and then like get back into the holidays. So be thinking about what is that mosquito? What is that small solve that you could do for your client that isn't a heavy lift for them because lots of things are going on and it's going to give them a big win during the holidays. All right. So I'm going to wrap this up with an AI conversation. Yeah, I went there. So AI is not going away. In the chat, love it, hate it. Tell me. Scared of it, love it. Tell me in the chat. I'm going to make it easy for you. So one of the things, I'd love to do is as we're going into the new year, no matter whether you love it, hate it, and learning it, or scared of it, don't know, and want to bury your head in the sand, if you had a simple system to plug the most effective 3 or 4 AI tools into your business that could become something that drives revenue, would that be interesting to you? Is that something you want to see? In fact, December, what a great month to be able to use the downtime to understand these 4 things. So come January, you can just plug them in and have them generating revenue for you. If that sounds like something that would be powerful for you, that you don't have to go through the learning curve, you don't have to say, should I choose this one, that one, this one, that's where the overwhelm comes from. But if I said, okay, I'm going to walk you through 4, and these 4 have increased our revenue by 37% straight up without hiring more people, would you want to learn how to do that and how to plug those in December while you have some downtime? Just quickly learn them, watch it at your own pace, and then follow the step-by-steps in your instructions so that you have an AI employee running and driving business for you. Okay. So I'm going to do that for $47. You up for it? Tell me in the chat. Just going to do a masterclass, going to be up for it. Okay, we're going to call that the AI plugin. Do you see how simple this is, you guys? Love your people. That was a micro offer right there. Love your people. I know my people. I know we love the idea of AI, but the idea of implementing it, we get lost. We get lost. So we'll send out that offer. We'll do that like December 14th, 13th, 14th, somewhere in there. And it's simple. Follow the recipe. Go A, B, C, D, E. It will equal eventually AI employee. Deal? All right. So look out for that. That's just going to be a small, Mike Sally's excited about it. That's just going to be a small win that you can kind of use the holidays to go through, to understand, to implement, but simply because I don't want anything complicated. Tell me, like, I don't want anything complicated. Yeah, this is the key right now with AI. Complication kills. And I'm also going to be throwing in how to build out your own company AI so that you never need a copywriter or someone to get your voice and your brand out to the world ever again. Whoop, whoop. All right. So $47. If you say AI in the chat, that's who I'm going to send it to. I'm not going to send it to everybody. I'm just going to send the people because we're not going to have too many people in the room. So if that's interesting to you, say AI and we'll send you that invite. We'll do that like right before like 12, 13, 14, somewhere in there. And CEOs, that is, you're included. So if you're in the CEO program, put AI, but you will not, that's just will be included in the program. And so Emily's like, I'll put that down and we'll go from there. I hope this has been valuable. If you buy the product, it will definitely be recorded. It's going to be recorded anyway, so you can do it on your own timing and just get to it in between the cookies, in between the caroling, in between lighting the candles, whatever it is that you do this holiday season. And you can use that downtime to build out that employee that's working for you by January. Deal? All right. I hope this has been a valuable live training today. Just some time to be able to hot seat, some time to be able to think about your business a little bit differently. I wanted you to get into my mind and how I think differently about people. Here's the thing, no matter what business you have, if you want to win in 2026, love your people, listen to your people, serve your people, and it'll all work. Because the law of sowing and reaping. And I could go for another 30 minutes on that. I'm going to stop, but we'll stop there and I'll see you on the next live. And I will see some of you on the info session, which I should tell you about. Those who are interested in getting certified as a certified neuro coach, that information session, Meg, good to see you. I saw you just walked in. That information session is going to be December 10th. I want to make sure you get a personal invite to that. So if you're thinking about getting the Sync NeuroCoach certification in the new year, just write NC in the chat and I'll have my team send you a personal invitation. It is on December 10th and it's just an info session that's going to take you through and walk you through everything in the coaching certification so you can make an educated decision on if being certified through that model and learning how to get people 100% transformations 100% of the time. Put in NC so that I know that's for you. And we'll look back at that. We will see you guys. Lolita, I'll see you tomorrow. Anybody in CEO, I'll see you tomorrow to do our systems build. Until then, bye for now. Happy holidays.